Hello, good morning, Malabrises and Malabite out there. It's a very wonderful Saturday morning. I hope you're doing very well. Malabrises, Malabites, staff of the University of Calabar, I hope all of you are doing very well. And I hope your Saturday is going on very, very lovely and nice. I will say welcome to the Legal Aid in Action on Unico Radio 103.5 FM. I am your host for today's show, Vera Moye. And what we're going to be doing today, it's legal, everything legal. Yes, last week we started the show and we discussed so many things. I will be talking about everything legal matters today. So, welcome to the Legal Aid in Action, your guide to understanding the legal rights and duties, especially tailored to students. Especially tailored to students. So if you're a student of the University of Calabar, student of any university out there, this show is actually brought for you. It's made and tailored out for you out there. As I said earlier, my name is Vera Moye and your host for today's show. In this episode, will be exploring, although last week we spoke about legal landscape and that surrounds students, that the topic for last week was legal rights and duties of students in tertiary institution. So we're continuing today because last week we had so limited time. So today we'll be talking more on legal right and duty as a student of the university. So last week we had wonderful legal practitioners in the studio, and today we are still having wonderful legal practitioner. Last week we spoke about the rights of students and who is a student of the university. That as a student you should know what is entailed of you. That means you must have an admission letter and also have a matric number. So if you don't have admission letter and a matric number, you are not a student. So today I'll be going on a very short break. When I'm back, I'll be introducing my guests. I have lovely guests and they are looking very nice and lovely on the studio today. So I'll be going on a short break. When I am back, I'll be introducing my fine and handsome guests here in the studio. Please your names again.
Okay, okay. Sure, that's
No, I know yours.
I'm okay yourself.
Okay. Sorry, it's going on air. All right, we'll be going back. This is live on air, so all right. Welcome back, people of Calabar, Malabrises and Malabites of University of Calabar, and every other person out there listening to this show today. It's still the Legal Aid in Action, where we'll be taking you through a journey of understanding the legal rights and duty as a student. So today we'll be talking about the legal right and duty as a student in the University of Calabar and as a student in any other university. So today I'll be introducing my first guest by my left, while she will introduce the other guest and also what the group is about. So good morning, Barrister Catherine.
Good morning, Vera. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. So how you doing? Let me know how you're doing today first before you introduce yourself.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Please just introduce your other colleague here.
Okay, so with me is Barrister Akaranta and Barrister Toyosi.
Okay, good morning, Barrister Akaranta and Barrister Toyosi. Hope you guys are doing very well.
Yes, we have.
Yes, you are. Okay, so please, Barrister Ketchum will be telling us about the group. Just a brief summary about the group.
Okay, thank you very much. This is the Legal Aid Community Development Service Group. It's a scheme under the National Youth Service Corps. Our mandate is to provide quality legal services to indigent members of the society and also do public awareness to sensitize people on our mandate. So we go to schools, markets, places to inform the public of what our mandate is. And obviously, that includes the electronic media, Unica radio station. Thank you very much again for having us.
Thank you very much, Barrister Kitchen, for that. She had introduced themselves as the CDS group of individuals are here, like legal practitioners are here for you as a student and me also. So today we'll be diving straight into the theme. Last week we had a whole lot to discuss about. So today we would let me give you a brief of what we discussed last week. Last week we did introduction of the group, which we did here. Then we spoke about legal framework, challenges faced by students in the university. That's the common challenges you face as a student. So today we'll be talking about the disciplinary majors as students. You know, we made mention of challenges, and so many students will be out there here saying that yes, these are the challenges I face as a student in the university, as a student in a college or any other tertiary institution. So today I'll be asking, okay, how do we discipline, or how are these students disciplined when they encounter, or when they do anything wrong in this university? That how do disciplinary processes typically unfold in the tertiary institution as a student? So Barrister Catherine, would you be going first for that one?
Okay, there's a problem. So, in the university, typically you have internal and external measures. So, depending on the severity of the case, depending on how serious the offense of the student is, that's what determines whether it will be treated internally or externally. So, for example, if it's a simple case of students fighting within the school campus, obviously it's going to be dealt with within the school. But if it's a more serious offense like um, malpractice or murder, of course it will be dealt with outside the school, and the law enforcement authorities would be brought into the case.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. So, if you're a student out there, if you know you commit any crime or anything as a student, just know that there are two ways your case will be dealt, both internally and externally. So, Barrister Catherine has explained to us that if you have a very severe case like murder and other things, your case will be solved externally. But if it's petty cases like exam malpractice and the others, it will be solved internally in the school. So I'll be asking Barrister to you see this one. What rights do students have during disciplinary proceedings, and how can they protect themselves? What are the rights as a student?
Okay, one of the rights you have as a student is the right of fair hearing, and that's it to say that for example, if within the university there is a reason for you to do one or two things, and you need to like the university has to like bring up the disciplinary measure. Once the panel is being set for you, they will allow you to express yourself. You're going to say your own side of the story, and after saying that, then the panel will go back and make further investigation to see are you actually saying the truth, or you are giving them the story that is not even in line with what just happened. So the fact that they call you, you appear before them, they're actually giving you fair hearing. They want to hear your own side of the story, and this is one of our rights. Even in the 1999 constitution, we have the right to fair hearing. Like nobody is to be condemned on the head. So that's one of those things like fair hearing. Then your next question there says what, please?
Like apart from the fair hearing, as a student, I ask, what are the disciplinary procedures that a student should have, and the rights, like as a student, how can I protect myself?
Okay. So as a student, the ways to protect yourself, like Pastor Kitchen mentioned earlier, that there are external and internal ways of discipline students. So if, for example, now it is within the internal phase of the disciplinary committee now, the student union on campus should have a legal team on ground, or probably if it's a university like Unicar that they have the faculty of law, it is expected that one of them they should send the representative from the faculty of law in their law clinic to come along with you. At least you have someone there with you to represent your interest legally. But if it's a situation where the university is taking this measure, this disciplinary measure externally, then you need to get the service of a lawyer. And by so doing, I know somebody might be asking that I hate like how do I get the service of a lawyer? You can come to the legal aid. It can be at the NYC level or even at the state level, which is at the Ministry of Justice, at the highway. You can get there to seek for legal advice from a lawyer or probably hire them. And of course, that is what we do. They come along with you and your interest is well protected. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Toyosi. So we'll be going on a very short break. When we are back, we'll be asking more questions. So stay tuned, relax, and write down all your questions you have for us. Do remember you can join the show on 09069880789. 09069880789. That's our call in line. While for WhatsApp, you can send us a message on WhatsApp on 08094444058. Stay tuned till we are back from this break. Can you hear anything? Can you hear?
Also echo here.
Okay. Once she wasn't hearing. She said she's hearing the music now, but once we go on air, once we're talking, it's not
It's
picking.
not echoing. It's not
It,
picking here.
yeah.
I hope it's speaking in the like. I hope it's
Yes, it's
speaking.
going. Yes, it's going
Okay.
because mine was having same problem. It's been adjusted. Please write your name and give me. Thank you. I'm going on airbag. Welcome back to the Legal Aid in Action. This is Unico Radio 103.5 FM. Remember, you can still join us on the show on 080-944-44058 for our WhatsApp line. That's you can send messages on our WhatsApp for us if you can call in. Then, if you want to join the discussion today, you could call in on 09069880789. Do remember we're here to discuss every legal issue and matter you as a student in the tertiary institution face. So right away we have spoken about student disciplinary processes where Barrister Catherine and Barrister Tosin had to tell us what is needed and how you as a student can go through these disciplinary processes. So we'll be talking about legal support and resources. How you as a student, what legal support you can get as a student, what legal resources you could get as a student. So I'll be this question right now to Barrister Uzo. Please, what legal resources are available for me as a student who need assistance with legal issues?
Okay, thank you for that. First of all, I would say that I'll start from where my colleague stopped. If it's internally, a matter that could be handled internally or externally, eh, moving from the internal part of it. First of all, if it's in the university that has a law faculty, you can resort to the legal aid department. We normally will have the law clinic there. We also have the bar council to handle such issues. We have the bar council. Under the bar council in each university, they normally have chambers which can represent you. You can meet them to give you legal advice on what to do and what not to do, on how to handle the case. Now, if you are going outside the campus, like say matters that has to do with capital offenses like courtism and murder. I think that's where you have to resort to the legal aid. Like my colleague said, they are going to the Ministry of Justice. The government already provided these stuff. They're on ground. The government will have to fund it. All you need to do is to walk up to them, tell them this is what happened, this is what happened, and then they'll know the advice to give to you on what to do and the steps to take. These things are there already. They are laid down. Thank you.
Okay, so many students get scared of all these things. So many students are not aware on how to access these resources. Like you make mention of the external resources, that's the legal aid and others, the courts and stuff like that. Do I just walk into this place and lay my complaint? And if I go there, do I have access? There are places where you enter and you don't have access at all. Do I have access to go in there, or are there procedures I need to follow before seeking assistance from any legal practitioners?
Yes, thank you for that question. Normally, what the this thing legal aid is meant to represent is all about is to represent indigent persons in the society who cannot afford the services of a lawyer. So I think when working there, it's someone that anybody working there is assumed that you don't have the capacity to hire a lawyer. So when
Okay.
you get there, we normally interview you to know what you are saying if it's true, and they will too conduct their own investigation. Once they find out, well, yes, this person cannot actually hire the services of a lawyer, they normally come in. And students shouldn't be afraid because these are provided already by the government. The government are the ones funding it. Thank you.
Okay, I want to say this one. I want to make. I think few weeks ago, I was told that a particular university, I will mention the university, a student was given a letter of expulsion of the from the university because of exam malpractice. Now, I'll use this. Before she was even served this letter, she was, would I say, caught. She had written some stuff on her slip, her school fees slip, which she did not use. She never used it. And examinate investigators or surveillance were inside the examination room, where they saw the paper she was with. She didn't even make use of it. It was just one side on her table. Even her mate said she never used it, and she's someone that is very, very intelligent. Like three vigilators were there standing, and she wrote these exams without even turning left or right. But after a few days, she was served letter of expulsion from the university. So as a student that have no idea about all these things, what am I supposed to do? If this was me, it happened to, as a student, what am I meant to do, Barrister Catherine?
Okay, so as Barrister Karanta said, in that circumstance, she has already been expelled, which means that the school has given a verdict on her case. Now, she's probably feeling that she was judged unfairly. What I would advise is for her to go seek legal aid. You can go to the Ministry of Justice. When you get there, you a lawyer will be given to you to interview you. Now, in such a circumstance, the lawyer attached to you can bring up a case that her fundamental human right to fair hearing has been violated, because before the university gave this verdict that she should be expelled, did they give her the proper chance of hearing her own side of the story? However, there's no guarantee that she might even succeed in the case, because what exactly is the definition of examination malpractice? In so many schools, just carrying a piece of paper where you write something without even using it amounts to examination malpractice. So when you define the crime and you know the elements of the crime, that's when you know if she will have rights have been violated. But one thing is sure, she has the right to be heard fairly, and she can seek legal aid. by going to the Ministry of Justice.
Okay, so she can seek legal aid by going to the Ministry of Justice. Thank you very much for that one. So, how does the law protect students' rights to free speech and peaceful protest on campus? You know that we on campus and most times we want to protest and it's leading to something else, or you are not allowed to speak freely, speak to a lecturer or speak about a lecturer, because once you speak about a lecturer, you speak about your HOD freely, it lands you to something else. So how do the law protect students on that, Barrister Toyosi?
Okay, thank you, Vera. Um, Looking at our grand constitution, which is the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, particularly Section 40, tells us that we have right to peaceful assembly and association. So, by so doing, it means that as students, we are part of Nigerian citizens. So, we have the right to peaceful assembly and association. So, as far as the protest, like you said, is a peaceful protest, students can go on with their protest. But however, once the protest is leading to peaceful protest, then there is an issue. Then of course the right now, the constitution now, particularly section 40 now, no longer guides that um protest again. So, and again, the fact that we have a right to do something does not really mean that we should now outdo those things. So the question now is, the protest is a peaceful one. Students definitely have the right to carry it out, and we can see that in the case of University of Ilorin versus Rashidat. So that's a decided case. In case anybody doesn't want to like read more on that, you can go there. And bringing it down again to a lower level, I want to believe that each university has their code of conduct. So this code of conduct spells out how activities, or probably even how the protest should be done within the university, so within the university system. Or probably you really want to talk about something, there should be a proper channel to do this within the university environment. So if we are going against these rules that are being guided, that are served to guide you in this aspect, then there is an issue on ground.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. Um, you said about the protest and just mainly spoke about the protest. How about free speech? You
Okay.
didn't speak on that
Oh,
one.
sorry about that. So we have right to fair, like I said, we have right to freedom to speak actually. But then the fact that I have this right does not mean I will not confirm the information I've gotten about probably a situation. Then I'll just go out there and just say something that I do not know. I think that one's on the extreme side. So you have to verify every information you are going to like give out there. Are you sure? Do you like do you have your sources? Are they from the right source? Hope it's not that you're just saying, oh, somebody said, they now said that. No, we shouldn't do that. You should be sure of that information before going out there to say, okay, I saw this happened. So when there is an investigation, it won't be like somebody is trying to tarnish the image of another person, because defamation under the law is a serious offense too. So you have to be very sure of what you're putting out there to keep yourself safe too. And of course, the law will have its course once it is an information that is right and is truthful.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Toyosin. I'll be going on a very short break. You heard, as a student, you have a right to freedom of speech. So now, freedom of speech doesn't mean that you have to say anything anyhow. You don't have to talk carelessly to your lecturers, to your HOD, to your non-teaching staff or non-academic staff. So you must know your rights properly and speak properly. Don't speak to someone in a way that is not supposed to. And also, while you're going for a protest, please make sure it's a very peaceful protest. Don't go on a protest with things that you are not meant to, so that when you are asked or when you are taking to action, you will have the right to stand for yourself and say you had a peaceful protest. So I'll be going on a very short break, and when I am back, I will continue. We have a lot of questions to ask before we leave the studio today. Their voices are very low. Someone just complained. We're enjoying the program, but we would like the speakers to be more audible.
I'm not hearing
Are you hearing anything from your end?
I think
No, not now.
Says you're saying it's still okay.
Okay, sorry.
But the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night. That's where I'm gonna stand out. Take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it.
You have made it 100 miles to freedom. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, you're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm waiting for you. You know I gotta make up mine. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I fight with the strength that I got.
Mr. Ben.
Till I die.
Welcome, 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 welcome back to the Legal Aid in Action on Unico Radio 103.5 FM. And I'm still your host, Vera Moore. And here I'm with Barrister Catherine, Barrister Tosin, and Barrister Uzo in the studio. So we have a lot to talk about, and we have spoken about student activism and also expression, how you as a student you need your right to free speech and also protest, peaceful protest. So now we'll be asking how this issue has affected, how technology has affected legal rights. So the impact of technology and social media. So basically I'll be asking this one, Mr. Catherine. So, how has technology and social media affected legal issues that involve students in tertiary institution?
Well, I would say technology has helped a lot because now we are more aware of the things that go on in the university environment. However, um, obviously technology is a double-edged sword, so we need to students need to be very careful of what they post online. You have to verify the content you are posting online because of course you might be liable to in an action for defamation if you spread wrong information. So yes, technology is very good. However, students need where of course where one's right starts is and where another person's right stops. So you need to be careful of what you post online because of defamation libel and being liable in damages in a civil action.
Thank you very much. Be very, very careful of what you post online because of defamation and liable to suit. So what's it called? You have a lot of things to post. So if you're posting any issue online about students, about your university, make sure the information you are posting out, you are sending out there is true. Don't just hear say and you pick and post, because when they'll be dragging you in court, or when your university would be disciplining you, you would not have anybody to stand by you. So anything you're posting out there, make sure it's very, very true and it is right. So what advice do you have for students regarding their online presence and its potential legal importance, Barrister Uzo?
Okay, one thing I have to say, like my colleague said already, verify the verify the information you are posting online so that you will be caught up with cyber crimes and issue of information. Because once you have been caught up with this, it's a serious offense which you will actually be held liable for. I think that, to be brief, that is the short answer to this.
Apart from that, what other advices do you have there? Because there should be so many advice apart from know what you're posting out there. You know, this is technology. So we're talking about technology and social media. What other advice do you have out there for students?
Okay, let me come in here. So as students, when you want to post, I know there is this slogan among the mass com, like mass com, like they say, when in doubt, leave out. So if you are not sure of what you're about to post, yes, the social media is meant to, you want, I understand the fact that you want to project it, you want people to see what you guys are going through, you want the society to like sympathize or come to you guys aid and make inquiries at what's going on in this university. I get your point on the things you're trying to like probably help a friend or save a situation. But then, like Vera said, you should not just work on the fact that, oh, I heard that they said that, and that's very common among the youth of today, particularly university student. Have you heard? Didn't you see? Like, you didn't see this thing. So if it's possible for you to like have a one-on-one conversation with the person involved, then you know that, oh, whatever you're posting, you're like you're hearing from the right source. And one other thing is that as the social media has helped us, yes, you want to try and project. Then another thing is that you know that when you put these things there, if you are not sure of that information, you're also putting the other person at risk too, including yourself too. So you need to be sure, because so like people will say nowadays that social media never forgets. So of course,
Yes, that's very true.
yes. So you need to be very, very sure of whatever you're writing out there to protect yourself and also the people or persons involved.
Okay, thank you very much. I would give this as an advice to students out there. Now, so many persons don't know that you can utilize social media for a case where you can get a legal practitioner to stand by you, and you really need your case to be pushed far. You can use social media. You could utilize it. It can be a very good tool and it can be a very harmful one. So while utilizing technology, social media, my advice for you as a student out there is that use it very well, utilize it very, very well, make use of it, the function and everything. Please don't go ahead posting what you don't know. Don't go ahead posting what you feel like is right. If you feel it's right but it's not right, please be very, very careful about whatever you post there. So we'll be coming to an end very soon on the show. So before we go out, we want to know your advice, Barrister Kitchen. What advice would you give to students to help them navigate their legal rights and duties effectively? What's your advice to students out there?
Okay, number one, make sure you know the law, because ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Read your student handbook, read your student's code of conduct, the rules, read it well so that when you are stopped by an officer of the school, you know your rights. So read your student's rights, and then read the constitution. Get your constitution. It's in almost every library. Get your constitution, know your rights, so that and know the limits to your rights as a student.
Okay, Barrister Catherine has said, know your rights, know the limits to your rights, and make use of your handbooks, your constitution. Every department has an handbook that set out rules and regulation for the students. Even your faculty, even the school has a constitution, has a handbook for the students. So be very, 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 very sure that you go through this. So you could call in on the show and ask any question you want to ask, calling on 09069880789. And my wonderful legal practitioners are here to answer your question. Calling on the show on 09069880789, or you can send us a message on 08094444058. We're waiting for your WhatsApp messages and your call in. So before we go on a very short break, then come back, I will also ask you, Barrister Catherine, are there any proactive steps students can take to prevent legal issues from arising? As a student, what should I do to prevent all these issues? Is there any proactive step so I'll avoid any legal issues in school?
It's simple. Once you know the law, you will know the limits and you would know what not to do. Make sure you read what is allowed in your within the four walls of your school. Because if you when you once you know the law, you know what to do and what not to do. So it's simple. Know the law. Know the law. That's the most important.
Okay, I have a WhatsApp message here. Please, if you're sending in the WhatsApp message, please kindly send your name and your location. That is very, very, very important. So I have a WhatsApp message here from someone, but no name. The person asks, in order to be eligible for the services of legal aid, are there some qualification to meet? Should I repeat that question again?
Yeah.
In order to be eligible for the services of legal aid, are there some qualifications to meet? As a student, what are the qualifications for me to be eligible?
Well, the first thing to be eligible for the service of legal aid is for you to qualify as an indigent person. That is someone who would normally not be able to afford such services, the services of a lawyer. So as long as you cannot afford the services of a lawyer, you are most like you are eligible. And what is the definition of someone who cannot afford the services of a lawyer? I think it's not. I think actually the law says anyone earning below the minimum wage is normally entitled, and of course that should include students. So
Okay, thank you very much. My question was coming from Me from Marian. So I hope your question has been answered. I hope you understand. So for you to be eligible for this service, you have to earn below the minimum wage. That's if you cannot afford any lawyer, then the legal aid in action is here for you. They are here, right here, seated down. Anytime you want them, you could call in and they are here for you. So I'll be going on a short break, and when we are back, we'll be talking about recent legal developments and future trends and challenges. So I'll go on a short break, and when I'm back, we'll talk about that.
Somebody said kudos to you guys.
weight on my shoulder. Is it? Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head. Oh, okay. Just in case I have some wrong.
Yes.
Do what I can, what I can, what I can.
Speaking about event, I wanted to add
But the
something
clouds
to
roll
you
back
that
and the stars feel
as
the
a student you want
light.
to
That's where I'm gonna stand out. Take
graduate
my
some
people
level of
with
Don't worry, I'll
me.
make it easy.
Together we are going to a brand new world.
Welcome back to the Legal Aid in Action, and we are still right here talking about legal matters as students. As a student, what legal rights do you have? I hope you have been following us from the beginning of the show, but if you're just joining the show, we're talking about everything students' rights in the university. So before we went on the break, we actually spoke about advice as a student. What advice our legal practitioners have for you there out there? And we got a question from our audience outside, participants, our listeners outside, asking, in order to be eligible for the service of the legal aid, are there some qualification which Barrister Catherine said you must earn below the minimum wage? And Barrister Toyosi will be saying something about that. What eligibility do students have to access the service of the legal aid?
Thank you, Vera. So if you're asking this question as a student, like in your capacity of being a student, so the first thing first is like you should be an eligible student of the University of Calabar. By so doing, you should have your matric number. That is, Unical has given you, offered you an admission, and you have accepted by paying your acceptance fee and probably all the other fees that are coming along with it. So right now there is an offer from Unical you've accepted. So there is a contract between you and Unical. You as a student of Unical and Unical now as the institution where you are a student of. So just I'm trying to like expatiate on what Barrister Kitchen said earlier on about indigent people. So if you're asking, if the person asking this question now is a student, and your right has been violated within the four walls of the university, you must be able to prove when you come around that, oh, I'm a student, there has been an offer letter of admission from Unical and I've accepted by paying my acceptance fee, paid my school fees, I have a matric number, and every other thing a student should have, not just someone that's probably is just within the walls of the university and feels like, oh, I'm a student, when in the real sense of it, Unical does not even have your record. So that's just um thank you, Vera.
Okay, I'll ask this question. So, as a student, you spoke about if your right has been violated in or within the university. So, what if my rights was violated or have been violated outside the university? Do I still have the right to access or right to services from the legal aid?
Oh sure, please, wherever you are, whoever you are, I'm just trying to like mention that for the person that is coming, that the question, if the person is asking from the perspective of a student, wherever you are in Nigeria, wherever you are, and your right has been violated and you cannot afford to pay or afford to get a lawyer for yourself, the legal aid is going to help you to just walk in to any legal aid office around you, anywhere you are. And of course, they will be glad, and we will be glad at the NYC CDS to take care of your case and help you get justice. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you to me out there for sending kudos to the program and also to the barristers out there. So someone is actually appreciating everything. I would have been clapping, but I think I'll do that later on. So recent legal development. Can you discuss any recent legal development and or landmark cases related to students' rights in tertiary institution, Barrister Uzo?
I think there are plethora of cases on that. But I'll be using one as an example. I'll be using one as an example. That's the case of University of Ilorin and Rashidat. In the case there, the lady actually, there was a panel of inquiry that was set up, and it involves the issue of let's say her freedom of speech. She said some things which she wasn't meant to say publicly, and then the school set an inquiry to investigate the matter. After which she was expelled from the university, and then when the case went to court, it lasted for a while, and then the Supreme Court made a judgment that say that she has a right to be heard no matter what the circumstances is. In any case, That's when you have to bring the issue of the two pillars of justice. One, namely Judaism and the other one that has to do with authoritarian pattern. Authoritarian pattern is talking about hearing the other party first, hearing both parties, not just hearing from one person. Then namely Judaism which has to be that you shouldn't be a judge in your own case.
Okay, so we shouldn't be a judge in our own case. So apart from Rashidat, is there any other legal issues students have faced?
Yes, apart from that case, there is one like a local school case, the in Daba case. It's
Okay.
a local school case whereby the students were involved in a protest in the university, which involved destroying the vice chancellor's building too and some staff quarters buildings. So in that case, when the university set up a panel of inquiry, it happened that the VC whose building was destroyed was the head of the committee in that case. So he's acting as a head and then a judge in his own case.
Okay.
So when the judgment was being delivered, the court held on that the the court was like you shouldn't be a judge in your own case. That was the grounds they emphasized on in delivering judgment in that case.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that one. So about the legal recent legal development, you only answer case related to student rights. Is there any recent legal development?
Okay, for the recent legal development, I know for like 2 or 3 years we've been hearing some cases that has to do with the university and students, which I'm not going to mention the name of the cases. But of course, a lot of laws have been put in place. Now I'm aware that there is a law guiding sexual harassment from students within the university environment, and a whole lot of laws too that have been put in place just to like serve as a balance from the students to the university, from the university to the student. And obviously, like Barrister Kitchen mentioned, the code of conduct when you get admission, the school is definitely going to give you. These are the things that are going to guide you as a student to the university, and also guiding the university to you too as a student. So of course there have been recent legal developments. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
I also wanted to add that when you talk about legal developments that pertain to students in the society, you wouldn't say these legal developments are only tailored towards students. They are developments in the society that obviously, when you bring it to the confines of the university, you apply it specifically to the students. But these laws are there to protect every member of society generally.
Okay, thank you. This is my last question for today. Please, how can legal practitioners and institutions work together to address these challenges? So, how can you, as a legal practitioner, and the institution like the universities, tertiary institution, work together to address these challenges, all the challenges you have mentioned?
Okay. Um I'm like, this question is actually a question that I'm happy. And you know why? Because UNICA has a faculty of law. And I know that there's going to be an alumni body from this faculty of law. And of course, these people, this is an institution that these people have also gotten wisdom or have been able to get knowledge from. And of course, they will be willing to come on board to protect both parties when there are issues. So I feel like the faculty of law UNICA alumni body should should come on board, or probably, if at all, of course you can get a lawyer outside who is not necessarily a graduate of UNICAL. Of course, we are trained across board from all faculties of law within the Nigerian university to get justice for people who necessarily um cannot get justice. So when these people come around, we can also like sit and also decide to together reason together with the governing body of the university to be able to like protect both the university against the student and the student against the university.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a question here from Abayomi from Marian. He's asking, what right does an individual who have paid tuition fee from 100 level till final year but was informed at the point of final clearance that he was not a student at the school? Should I read that again?
Yes,
Okay, what right does an individual or a student, let me say individual because at the final level, individual who have paid tuition fee from 100 level till final year, but was informed at the point of final clearance that he was not a student of the school.
okay. Okay, I would say this is a very, very touching case and very sensitive also.
Yes, we
So
have had so many cases like
yes,
that.
especially in government institutions, in Protec, in Unica, it's very common. Okay, first of all, I would say based on the definition that Barrister Toyosi gave earlier on, a student is someone who has a matric number, who has been admitted. Let's not forget the fact that the first step is to get an offer of admission. You get an offer of admission, you have to pay acceptance fee. There are so many subtle procedures that we think we just overlook, and at the end of the day, it might actually cost us our admission, our educational process. So you might be paying school fees for from year one to year four, but are there certain tiny things that you might have overlooked? And then also, I mean, I wouldn't like to jump into conclusion. I would also like to use this opportunity to advise students to keep receipts of everything you are doing in school, be it your the fees you are paying to the school, your faculty dues, your departmental dues, and also receipts of the fact that you have been attending school, your results from year one to year four. It's quite surprising and touching that it's at year four that you have not received any results from the school. So where have the other results come from? So in in the worst case, you can sue the school.
Okay, thank you. You make mention of keeping receipt. There are so many students that have kept all those things. I knew of a roommate that she had to restart again after final year. That's when she realized that her name, she got admission letter, everything that was needed for you as a student, she had them completely. In final year, she realized that she wasn't a student in
So
school.
her records have not been
She has been
restored.
receiving what's it called results. She has had results from year one, year two, year three, year four. It was final year clearance that she realized that her name is not there. So there, am I allowed to sue the school?
I believe so. Barrister Karanta has something to
I
say.
think one other thing the student should consider is that once you are being offered admission letter from any higher institution, you should try to go to the JAMB office to verify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because once it's verified from JAMB that you have been offered admission to this higher institution, such issues cannot come
But
up.
there are people that still have letter from JAM because we have JAM letter, admission letter, then we have admission letter from the institution. So we have two letters from the institution. But now where the problem comes is that because at the final level, you still have to go to the JAM office to do some clearance and everything.
Yeah.
And most students realize when they go back to JAM office that their name is not even in the JAM portal. But I have a JAM admission letter from the start. So how is my name not
So
there?
the records are absent at JAM.
Accept that JAM. That's why I said from the onset, that moment you are being offered admission, you should try to go to JAM with the university offer of admission.
I think
To
what
JAM.
what
Because
what
they
I'm
can,
saying-
they can verify actually. If
How
the
about
person
the
is
letter
being
JAM
letter-
offered to you?
Sorry, apart from the letter offered to you by JAM or your institution, I can remember clearly in my own institution, which I believe that is the normal standard of a university. On your matriculation is very important. On your matric day, there is this oath form that you fill, and it includes your details as students. You write your JAM registration number, and this is taken to the Senate building for them to verify again. So the question now is, if you've done that, you've gone to JAM office, you've you got your matric number and all those things that ought to be in place are already in place, then there is an underlying mistake or something
I have both
somewhere.
a question and a
And
contribution.
then your brochure, the brochure of the university during its matriculation day, was your name in that list? Because once your name is in that brochure, you are automatically a student of that university.
I have both a question and a contribution based
Okay.
on what the host is saying. She's saying that even after they have gotten the JAM verification,
Okay.
after 4 years now, because you won't go to JAM every year,
Sure.
after 4 years, you now discover that although you were offered admission, all this while your records, your results have not been updated at JAM. That's the question I submit.
Yes.
Now, in that case, I believe you now have the right to sue the school for damages because it is clear that you were a student.
Okay.
So if you were that's another question. We need all the legal facts. Did the person do
Matriculation.
matriculation?
That's what I'm saying.
Did he go to Senate view? Did he
Was-
do all that?
Was his name in the school brochure? Due matriculation, the list of students.
If
that
it was, he can sue the
matriculating.
school.
Yes,
It
sure.
was,
Then
yeah.
they
Okay,
can.
Some
so
people don't know they can sue. They don't know that they need a lawyer. They can actually take up this and sue and get millions.
Where all your facts are right and you're sure.
Exactly.
okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Abayomi, I hope you have heard you can sue the school. That's when all your facts are right. When you have all your receipts. I have so many students lost their receipts and everything. And when they reach final lab, they have issues finding those receipts and you have to make payments and everything. So please, please, please hope all your receipts, all your evidence are there. And if they are there, you can go ahead to take legal action on that and you can sue the school for that. Make sure if you are suing the school, you are on the right feet. You are on the right.
equity must come with a clean hand. Please.
He will come with equity, must come with.
Clean hands.
Evil comes to equity.
Okay, comes to equity.
Must come
With a clean hand. I hope you have heard that. And thank you very much for today's program. Thank you for joining me on the Legal Aid in Action. So we'll be rounding up by letting Barrister Catherine just say her last word and then we'll leave the studio.
Okay, I would like to thank Unical Radio Station for having us. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate that this session was very interactive. Once again, this is the Legal Aid CDS group from the National Youth Service Corps, and we organize public sensitization and help indigent members of the society to seek legal aid. So we also are seeking for sponsorship from the public. So because many of the ways in which we help the indigent, we are sponsoring it on our own. So if you have from the benevolence of your heart, if you want to sponsor us, you can kindly contact the radio station or contact us, and we'll be very, very happy.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Catherine. You can contact the radio station on 09069880789 for support. And you could also send in your messages on 08094444058. Do remember that the show don't end here. Even when we leave the studio, you could still send in your question on our social media handles on Instagram, X, that's Twitter, and on Facebook, we are Unicorn Rain 1. You can also check our YouTube page on Unicorn Radio International to get latest updates on everything. Do remember that for you to have a legal right, you must understand. For you to take any legal action, you must understand your legal rights and duties of a student. So join us next time next week on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Legal Aid in Action. I still remain your host for the show, Vera Moore.